What is up, guys? Daddy Butter here with another Mobile Legends video. Today, I'm going to be going over items. Now, I'm going to do this in a series because if I was to do all the items all at once, it would take way too long. Now, this might be a little bit more geared for people who are less acquainted with the game or less acquainted with MOBAs, but I really wanted to do this. I don't feel like there's enough content like this out there, and I really want people to understand what they're building, why they should be building it, and when. Against which teams, all that kind of stuff. So let's just kind of jump into here. We'll just jump into something. We just did a Rafaela thing, so let's jump into, we'll start with attack, okay? The attack class. And so the very first item we have here is Magic Blade. 60 physical attack, 24 magic resistance, and the passive Lifeline. When HP drops below 30%, okay, no thank you. When HP drops below 30%, you get a shield that can absorb 510 to 1350 damage. This item is great on any ADCs or any auto attackers against a team that does have a lot of magic damage because you get a lot of extra tankiness just from one little item. It is so effective because you're gonna come up against that. You're gonna come up against a team that's gonna have that type of issue. That you're going to be against. So then the next item is going to be Fallen Sword. 45 physical attack, 30% attack speed, 10% life steal, and the passive Devour. I love this passive. Basic attacks will deal an extra 8% of the target's current HP as additional physical damage, up to 60 against monsters. This item, if you've ever played League of Legends, is like Blade of the Ruined King, and it is so strong. This item is amazing if you want some extra lifesteal, but where it really comes in handy is if you're playing a team of tanks, because you're doing percent damage. Tanks have a lot more health, so you're doing a lot more damage with that 8%. This item is for melting tanks. That is its main use, and that's how you should be building it. Deadly Blade is our next item. Very cheap, 910 gold. 30 physical attack, 15% resilience. Resilience basically means that it cuts down the time that you're stunned, slowed, suppressed in any way by 15%. Unique passive, Life Drain. Lowers HP regen effect of a target by 50%. If you attack somebody and then they pop their healing potion, that healing potion is only going to do half of what it did before. Very subtle item. I personally have never built it because I haven't found a place to put it yet, but so effective and can be used against a team like with a Rafaela, who's doing a lot of healing. This would just destroy everything that she does. Plus, a team that has a lot of crowd control effects, the stuns, the slows, the suppresses. This will cut that down. It does give you some extra physical attack. It's so cheap. Even if you build it and then you sell it later on in the game when you have more gold, it can be a very, very effective early item that can help you win a lane. Ice Force is the next item. 1960 on the gold, 30 physical attack, 1000 HP. Unique passive, Frost Strike. Basic attacks will have a 25% chance of lowering target movement speed by 35%. This item will help you stick to those quick teams, those teams that have a lot of mobility, your Fannies, your Kaguras, your Hayabusas, Saber. Any of those guys that can dash around, that can move, and it gives you so much extra health. If you're looking for a final item to just finish off an item set, this could be your item. It can be used on a lot of what we call bruisers, the guys like Yun Zhao or Freya, those characters that do damage, but they got to jump in, they got to engage, gives you a lot of extra health, and it can really help you. Those people, they try to run away. Oh, guess what? You're slowed. You're dead. Thank you. All right. Wind Chaser. 60 physical attack, The unique passive ignores 45% of their armor, is basically 45% physical penetration. It ignores 45% of the target's armor. So this item, my goodness, kind of a staple for any of the ADC type characters, the ranged auto attackers, Mia, Layla, Bruno, all of those kind of characters. And even your auto attackers, like the bruisers that I was just talking about, they can use it well too. This is against a team that is tanky, a team that has a lot of armor. And if your team happens to have a lot of attack damage and you don't really have any magic damage dealers, the other team is going to build armor. This is what's going to help you shred. This item, along with Fallen Sword, will make you absolutely obliterate any tanks on the other team. Next item is going to be Tooth of Greed, 75 physical attack, unique passives, 25% lifesteal, unique passive Frenzy. When HP drops below 20%, the hero will receive an extra 10% physical lifesteal. This item is a must build on any auto-attacking character. I'm talking about anyone from Bruno to Alucard to Yun Zhao, all of them. This item has to be built. It is so effective. The lifesteal is massive, and that physical attack is great. It's not that expensive. 1,900 gold. You will find more expensive items. This item is a must build every time on your auto attackers. Blade of Destruction. Next item, 75 physical attack, 20% critical strike chance, unique passive, 50% crit damage. That means you do another 50% crit damage on top of what your crit damage normally would be. The next unique passive, Doom. Crit strikes will increase one's physical attack 5%, lasting 2 seconds. This item, again, huge item for auto attackers. Mainly going to be for your ADC type characters. And it is just so strong. You melt anyone. Squishies, 1 or 2 shots, dead. Tanks, 4, 5, 6 shots if they're really tanky, and they're either dead or having to run away. This item, very, very strong. Usually built later on in the build, because it doesn't require, but it's much more effective if you've already built a few extra items with crit already, and it just adds it on there and it just melts people. Endless Battle. This item, massive item, kind of expensive, 2470, but very, very effective on characters like Bane. I build it on Karina sometimes. It can be built on a lot of different characters, but those are the main two. I see people build it on Mia sometimes. It's very effective, very strong item. Let's get into the stats. 50 physical attack, 25 magic power, 350 HP, 5% movement speed, 15% lifesteal, 400 mana. As you can see, massive, massive item. If you've ever played League of Legends, this is your Trinity Force. And a big old passive effect on this one. Divine Justice. After using this ability, the next basic attack will have an additional 70% physical damage as true damage. This effect has a 2-second cooldown. Unique passive Chase Fate. When Divine Justice effect is triggered, it will increase the hero's movement speed by 15%. Very, very, very strong. You're going to do extra damage after each ability you use, and it's going to make you move faster. You're going to keep up with people. You're going to be able to chase them down, keep them in auto attack range, and just burst them down. Very strong item. Like I said, it doesn't work. It's not going to work for every character, but for Bane, for Karina, maybe Mia, maybe you'll find a use for it on someone else. Very, very, very strong. Also, if you're looking for a good item to build, God, why can't I remember her name right now? Why doesn't it have her name? right here. Lolita. I'm sorry about that, guys. Lolita does mixed damage. She does do attack damage, and she does do magic damage, and it's very, very strong on her as well. So let's get into this again. Next item is going to be Thor's Sting. 30% attack speed, 8% movement speed, 20% critical strike chance, unique passive lightning after every 5 basic attacks. The next basic attack must deal 125 magic damage to 3 enemies. Unique passive, and this is an unique passive activate. Each time after lightning is cast, one's movement speed will be raised 10% for a brief time. This item, so strong. You know this about me. I don't build boots, so I always build this on any attack damage based character. This is a staple, 1870, pretty cheap, and it gives you so much extra stuff. That 20% crit chance, huge. 30% attack speed, huge. The movement speed is amazing to have, even if you do build boots. If you build this item, you're going to be so fast. Good for any auto attacker. Like I said, pretty much all these items obviously are going to be for auto attackers. This is strong on your ADCs in particular. Scarlet Phantom. Huge item. I love this item. 30% physical, 30 physical attack, 40% attack speed, and 10% critical strike chance. The unique passive Frenzy crit strikes will increase the hero's attack speed 35% and crit strike rate 10%, lasting 2 seconds. That passive is beastly. This is an item that you're going to build probably after Thor's Sting because you want to get a little bit of crit strike chance. I would go Thor's Sting into Scarlet Phantom, into Blade of Destruction. You're going to have 50% crit strike chance, and you are just going to dominate with everything that happens every time you crit strike. You're going to get extra movement speed from Thor's Sting. You're going to get the extra crit strike chance and the attack speed from this item. It makes you so strong. This is a great ADC item. I build it on Yoon's Out every game. Very strong, very good item. Probably a good third or fourth item in the build. Crazed Reaper. Next item. 65 physical attack, 300 HP, 20% attack speed, unique passive Fury. Basic attacks will increase the hero's movement speed 10%. Unique passive Steamroll. Basic attacks will lower target physical armor 7. This effect can stack up to 5 times. You will lower their armor 35. That is massive. This is a great item on characters like Balmond, on characters like Freya. I build it first on them because you can do so much with this, especially early game. Can you imagine taking 35 armor from someone early game? They have no armor left. That 65 attack damage is huge, and you get extra movement speed from it, the extra attack speed that comes with it, the extra HP. Early game, this item is massive, and it will make you so much stronger than the enemy if they're not building it. Blade of Despair. Very expensive item, but as you can see, there's a pretty darn good reason. 130 physical attack. That's huge. That's 2 Crazed Reapers. 130 physical attack. 25% attack speed. 10% critical strike chance. Unique passive Despair. That is what your enemies are going to be feeling if you build this item against them, is pure despair. Deals an extra 15% damage to an enemy in any abnormal state. Stunned, knocked airborne, transformed, or disabled. Any sort of crowd control effect. This is a great item. So good. It is a late game item. You don't want to build it early because you're not going to get a lot out of it until it is fully built, and it takes a while to build it because it is so expensive. So you want to have a good base of items. You want to have the Tooth of Greed, Scarlet Phantom, maybe a Fallen Sword. You pop this guy in there, and it is so strong. Especially you see that passive when anything is stunned, knocked up, airborne, transformer, disabled. If you have those abilities in your kit, say you're a Freya, you have that stun, very strong. If you have characters on your team, Nana, my goodness, this item with a Nana on your team, so strong. Eudora, any of those characters that have a lot of crowd control, it is going to make you so strong. But you don't want to build this item until late. And this item is great for literally any champion that does attack damage that isn't just a pure tank. The final item we're going to go over in this video, guys, is going to be Hunter Strike. 100 physical attack and 20% cooldown reduction. Unique passive, Hunt, increased movement speed 30% after killing a hero. This item, again, is a late game item. This item is amazing because it is the only physical attack item that gives you cooldown reduction. That is huge. There are so many physical attackers that can benefit from cooldown reduction. Alucard is going to be one of them. Balmond is going to be one of them. Any of them, really, but those two in particular can benefit from it so much because they don't use mana. So you can just spam and spam and spam and never run out of it. The passive, increased movement speed 30% after killing a hero. It's not going to come into play too much, but when it does, it's going to be strong in those team fights late game, which is when you want to be building this, which is when team fights are going to happen. This item can definitely help you. I feel like this is more for melee range champions than it is for the ranged auto attackers. Of course, it can be built on those ranged auto attackers, but because of that extra movement speed, the cooldown reduction, I feel like this is much stronger on a melee auto attacker. Anyways, guys, that concludes our first video on the items. We are going to do an extra video for magic, for defense, and I'll probably group movement and jungle together because they're small groups. I want to make sure that you guys know what you're building, and there is so much to it. And I want to mention this now, and I'll mention it at the beginning of the other videos. If it says unique passive, it does not stack. It doesn't stack. So if you are here and you have Magic Blade and your health drops below 30% and you get a shield that absorbs that damage and you build another Magic Blade, it is not going to double your shield. It doesn't stack. Never build the same item twice. It doesn't make sense. You're not going to get the benefit. Unless you just want the stats, don't do it. It doesn't make sense. It's not going to help you whatsoever. So please remember that. Unique passives only happen once. They're never going to stack. This is Daddy Butter. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new to Mobile Legends, I hope this helped you. If you're a veteran to MOBAs, but you're still new to Mobile Legends, I hope this helped you. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it. Give me some criticism, some feedback, whatever you want. And you guys have a great day.